Ever thought about packing up and moving to Uruguay? Nestled between the titans of South America, Argentina, and Brazil lies Uruguay, a gem of tranquility and warmth that's often overlooked. Yet it's here that you'll find a welcoming embrace, a moderate climate that's just right, and a lifestyle that's as laid back as a hammock strung between two palm trees. But what truly sets Uruguay apart is its straightforward immigration procedure. Unlike the labyrinthine bureaucracies of many nations, Uruguay offers a clear, well-marked trail for those yearning for a change of scenery. And let's not forget, it's a country that serves up a mean barbecued steak, a vibrant local wine scene, and an undying love for football. So if your feet are itching for a new adventure and your heart is open to a new home, stick around. So if you're feeling adventurous, keep watching to learn the steps to make Uruguay your new home. Step 1 in your journey is choosing the right visa. Now, Uruguay offers a variety of visas, each tailored to suit different circumstances. But let's focus on the most common one for those seeking to set up shop in this beautiful country, the temporary residency visa, or as the locals call it, residencia temporaria. This visa is your golden ticket to living the Uruguayan life. It's like a key that opens the door to the world of mate tea, tango, and breathtaking sunsets over the Rio de la Plata. But what makes this visa even more appealing is that it's not just a temporary arrangement. Oh no, it's a stepping stone to something more permanent. With this visa, you get to live, work, and soak up the Uruguayan culture. And after a certain period, it can lead to permanent residency. Now, isn't that a sweet deal? But just like any important decision in life, choosing the right visa requires some thought. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You need to consider your own circumstances, your plans, your dreams, and your goals. Are you planning to retire in the peaceful Uruguayan countryside? Or are you an entrepreneur looking to start a business in the bustling city of Montevideo? Each scenario might require a different type of visa. So it's important to do your homework. Dive deep into the details of each visa, understand the requirements, the benefits, and the limitations. Consult with the Uruguayan consulate or embassy in your home country. Ask questions, get clarifications. Remember, knowledge is power. And in this case, it's the power to make your Uruguayan dream come true. And remember, while the temporary residency visa is a popular choice, it's not the only choice. Uruguay offers several other visa options, so explore them all. Find the one that fits you like a glove. Once you've found the right visa for your circumstances, it's time to meet the requirements. And that, my friends, is the topic for our next scene. So stay tuned, because the journey to your new life in Uruguay is just getting started. Now that you've chosen your visa, you'll need to meet some requirements. Let's dive into what these entail. Firstly, you'll need to demonstrate a stable income or financial means to support yourself. Now, how much is enough? Well, it's a little like asking how long a piece of string is. It depends on your lifestyle and where you choose to live. For example, a one-bedroom apartment in the city center of Montevideo might set you back around $600 a month, while one outside the center is around $450. If you're thinking about a larger space, a three-bedroom apartment could cost you around $975 in the city center, and around $824 outside of it. Now remember, these figures are just estimates, and prices can fluctuate. So it's always a good idea to have a little extra tucked away for those unexpected expenses or for that spontaneous night out at the local tango club. You can prove your financial stability through employment, pension, investments, or proof of sufficient savings. The second key requirement is a clean criminal record. Uruguay is a peaceful country, and they like to keep it that way. You'll need to provide a clean criminal record certificate from your home country. It's a bit like being invited to a party. The host wants to ensure you're not going to cause any trouble. So, in a nutshell, the two main requirements are financial stability and a clean criminal record. But remember, requirements can vary slightly depending on the visa type and your personal circumstances. It's always best to check with the Uruguayan consulate or embassy in your home country for the most accurate information. Once you've gathered all the necessary documents, it's time to submit your application. But we'll talk more about that in our next segment. Stay tuned. Submitting your application is the next big step towards your move. It's not just about checking off boxes, it's about starting an exciting new chapter in your life. So let's dive right in and discuss how you can prepare and submit your application for a Uruguayan visa. Firstly, you'll need to gather your documents. This isn't a scavenger hunt. It's a crucial part of the process. You'll need proof of identity, which could be a valid passport or another government-issued ID. You'll also need proof of income or financial means. This could be a letter from your employer, bank statements, pension documents, or evidence of investments. Basically, you need to show that you can support yourself financially in Uruguay. Next, you'll need a clean criminal record certificate. This is to ensure that you're a law-abiding citizen and have no outstanding legal issues. And in some cases, you may also need a health certificate, which shows that you're in good health and free from any contagious diseases. Once you've got all your documents ready, it's time to submit your application. You could think of this as sending your first postcard from Uruguay, except it's going in the opposite direction. You'll need to send your application to the Uruguayan consulate or embassy in your home country. Remember, it's not just about sending in your documents, it's also about presenting your best self. So make sure your application is clean, organized, and professional. You want to show that you're serious about making Uruguay your new home. Once you've submitted your application, it's time to wait. Yes, waiting can be tough. But think of it as a suspenseful interlude in your adventure. You've done your part. And now it's up to the consulate or embassy to review your application. With your application in, you're well on your way to becoming a resident of Uruguay. You've taken a significant step towards your new life. And while the waiting game begins, remember to stay positive. After all, good things come to those who wait, right? After your visa is approved, the next step is completing the residency process in Uruguay. Now don't let this step intimidate you. You've already done the hard work of getting your visa approved. So this is just about crossing the T's and dotting the I's, so to speak. Upon approval of your temporary residency visa, you'll be required to travel to Uruguay within a certain time frame. This isn't just an obligatory vacation, but an essential part of the process. So pack your bags and get ready to experience the South American charm firsthand. Once you set foot in Uruguay, you'll be tasked with completing additional paperwork. Now, I know what you're thinking. More paperwork? But remember, every filled form brings you a step closer to calling Uruguay your home. This paperwork is essentially your formal introduction to the Uruguayan government. You're basically saying, hey, I'm here, ready to become a part of your vibrant community. You'll need to visit government offices for this, but don't worry. The folks over there are generally friendly and helpful, so you'll feel more like a guest than an applicant. During these office visits, you might be asked to provide additional documents or clarify some information from your application. It's a good idea to keep all your documents handy and organized. You never know when you might need to pull out that certificate from your 3 ARD grade spelling bee competition. Just kidding. But seriously, it's always better to be over-prepared. Once you've navigated through this process, you can take a deep breath and pat yourself on the back. You've just completed your residency process. I can almost hear the cheers and see the confetti. But hold on to your party hats, this isn't the final step. You'll need to reside in Uruguay for a certain period, usually between 1 to 3 years, depending on your visa type. During this time, you'll get to immerse yourself in the Uruguayan culture, explore the local cuisine, and maybe even pick up some Spanish. Before you know it, it'll be time to apply for permanent residency. Once you've completed the residency process, it's just a matter of time before you can apply for permanent residency. So hang in there, future Uruguayan resident. Your journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come. After residing in Uruguay for a period, you can apply for permanent residency. Now, this isn't some magical transformation that happens overnight. It's a process, but one that's well worth the effort. Once you've been in Uruguay for a while, usually between 1 and 3 years, depending on your visa type, you can put in an application for permanent residency. This is known as Residencia Permanente. This status grants you the right to live and work in Uruguay indefinitely, without the need to renew your visa periodically. But hold on, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Before you can apply, you'll need to fulfill certain conditions. You'll need to prove you've been living in Uruguay and have the means to support yourself. You may also need to show you're in good health and have a clean criminal record. Once you've got all your ducks in a row, you can submit your application. This is usually done at the Dirección Nacional de Migración, or National Migration Office. They'll review your application, and if everything checks out, you'll be granted your permanent residency status. But wait, there's more. After several years of continuous residency, usually about 5, you can apply for Uruguayan citizenship. This is a big step, as it grants you all the rights and responsibilities of a Uruguayan citizen. And the best part, Uruguay allows dual citizenship, which means you can maintain your original citizenship alongside your new Uruguayan one. Applying for citizenship requires you to demonstrate a deeper commitment to Uruguay. You may need to show a certain level of proficiency in Spanish and an understanding of Uruguayan culture and history. But don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds. Think of it as your chance to show how much you've embraced your new home. So, there you have it. The journey from temporary resident to permanent resident, and maybe even to citizen of Uruguay. It may seem daunting, but remember, every journey starts with a single step. Congratulations, you're now a permanent resident or maybe even a citizen of Uruguay. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be cheering on the national football team with the best of them. Before you make the move, there are some other considerations to keep in mind. You see, moving to a new country is like learning to dance. It can be a bit tricky at first, but you'll get the hang of it with time. One of the first steps in this dance is language. Spanish is the official language of Uruguay, and while many Uruguayans do speak English, it's not as widespread as you might find in other countries. So if you're not already fluent in Spanish, it might be a good idea to take a few classes or brush up on your Duolingo lessons. But don't worry, Uruguayans are generally friendly and helpful, so you'll have plenty of opportunities to practice. Now let's talk about the rhythm of life, or more specifically, the cost of living. Overall, Uruguay offers a comfortable lifestyle at a reasonable cost. For example, you can rent a one-bedroom apartment in the city center for around $600, or opt for a quieter life outside the city for about $450. And if you need more space, a three-bedroom apartment will set you back around $1,000 in the city and $800 outside. Healthcare is another important factor. Uruguay has a robust healthcare system with both public and private options available. The quality of care is generally high, but it's a good idea to check out the specifics to ensure it aligns with your needs. And on the note of needs, it's important to remember that every person's experience is unique. What works for one person might not work for another. So take the time to research, plan, and prepare. With all of this in mind, you're ready to take the next step. You're ready to learn the dance, to embrace the rhythm of a new life in Uruguay. So take a deep breath and remember, this dance is all yours. With all this information, you're ready to make an informed decision about moving to Uruguay. So there you have it, the steps to moving to Uruguay. We've navigated the path to making Uruguay your new home, starting with selecting the right visa. Remember, the temporary residency visa is a popular choice for those seeking to establish residency, acting as a stepping stone towards permanent residency. Next, we discussed meeting the requirements. Showcasing stable income or financial means is key here. Whether it's through employment, pension, investments, or proof of sufficient savings, you'll need to demonstrate your ability to support yourself in Uruguay. Then we looked at submitting the application. This step involves gathering essential documents like proof of identity, proof of income, a clean criminal record certificate, and possibly a health certificate. Once everything's in order, you'll submit your application to the Uruguayan consulate or embassy in your home country. Following that, we explored the residency process. Upon approval of your temporary residency visa, you'll need to travel to Uruguay within a certain time frame to complete the process, which may involve additional paperwork and visits to government offices. We also touched on how to achieve permanent residency and citizenship. After residing in Uruguay for a certain period, usually 1 to 3 years depending on the visa type, you can apply for permanent residency. And after several more years of continuous residency, you may become eligible to apply for Uruguayan citizenship. Finally, we covered other considerations like potential language barriers and the importance of researching the cost of living, healthcare system, and other factors before making the move. Remember, the journey to becoming a resident or citizen of Uruguay is a process, one that involves patience, preparation, and perhaps a few cups of their popular herbal tea, yerba mate, to keep you going. Remember, it's always advisable to consult with the nearest Uruguayan consulate or embassy for the most up-to-date and accurate information. Good luck with your move.